Okay, so this week, Twitter has removed verified badges across the platform. And now if you want a verified badge, you have to pay, I believe it's like £8 a month?
$8.
$8. So for Twitter
Is
Blue.
it that much?
Yeah.
I thought it was like $5.
Nah, it's expensive, like. It's more than Netflix.
What?
Nah, and Netflix is
Maybe
much
I'm
more
out of
expensive
picture. I
now,
thought
like.
Netflix was like £5.
Nah, I wish it was £5. Unless I'm paying for like a more expensive package I didn't know about, but
Yeah, I'm not
What
sure.
kind of deal Glenn's on?
it's a Netflix deal.
So the main pain with that is obviously the whole point of it was if there's a legitimate like creator or something, you know it's them because they're verified. But the funny part about it is supposedly some famous people have been given the verified still, even though they're not paying for it, in an attempt to like show Twitter that like famous people are paying for it, so it's worth buying.
Okay.
And then Elon Musk has also come out and said that he's personally paying for some celebrities to have the verification.
But
It's cringe.
what's he mean he's personally paying though? Like, surely he's just
just
not
click a
paying
button.
for it. He's just going, I've give them the tick.
Didn't he complain that it was like people, celebrities having the check mark was, what was it? It was like a club, like a clique,
Clique.
you know? And now he's like, oh yeah, making sure these celebrities have
funding
the check mark.
I guess the difference is before they were in a club, but they weren't making money out of it. Now they're like, we'll make the club,
Yeah,
and
let's
we're
make-
making money out of
Let's
the
make
club.
money out of this club.
It's his club now, that's why it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I don't
just-
get it though. What's the point of being verified?
So
There isn't now.
The
No.
idea initially was so that there wasn't people impersonating like accounts.
Oh.
But I mean, if anyone can purchase it, then the only one that's not really going to be impersonated without great effort is the gold one you were talking about, right?
Yeah, so that's in the same. I don't know if this is like new this week, but they also offer gold verification, which is more aimed at companies, and you have to pay $1,000 to apply. And if your application gets rejected, you don't get refunded for the $1,000.
Jesus.
So you got to pay $1,000 just to maybe get it,
Get it.
which is like ridiculous.
So it might be in their interest to decline a few.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my lord.
It's really
Bet
really
Scrub
bad.
Daddy's gonna be the first company to get it first.
What?
Why
I'm just
Scrub
throwing out
Daddy?
my bets.
What is Scrub Daddy?
Scrub Daddy's the circular sponges that have like
With
really
smiley
grainy.
faces.
Yeah, the smiley faces.
There's been the gold check mark already exists, has for months.
Oh, so that's what I mean. It's not new this week, is it?
Oh,
I think
shit.
it's just news of how you get it, and like the fact that they reject people.
So
It's
I've
just
seen
come out.
that's the yellow tick. There's some.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's just company based. Then that's like if you're a business.
yeah. It's aimed at like big businesses.
Okay, so it was like certain Formula 1 teams would have had the yellow check mark from what I was seeing. My Twitter is mostly like F1, so that's why I would say Formula 1. Like, and I was seeing that, but then individual like drivers were blue ticks, like. But that's gone. There's actually
That's so strange.
there's so obviously everyone's kind of like tracking like who has a blue tick now. You know, haha, like you paid for the thing. There was literally like a Twitter post that was like a constant update of like which driver has a blue tick, and like slowly you could see it changing with like an extra driver has got it. And
Because you just laugh now, innit?
Yeah,
It's
you just
it's
laugh,
So
hey,
weird.
look
You
what
pay,
you
like
paid for.
£8 a month for a tick, like.
But why would a business? I don't understand why a business has to pay money to be verified. Why can't they just contact Twitter and be like, "Hey, here's our business. Here's our stuff. This is our documents."
It's just
We're
as
legit.
Twitter trying to make money.
They don't care about
Wow.
they don't care about impersonation
Yeah.
or
The
like
government wouldn't
verification or
do
anything
that.
like that.
Yes,
They
it
just,
would.
it's money.
I saw like 5up on Twitter was like I was forced to get it, or you know, I was told I had to have it, and it was like
Like who?
who?
Yeah, I don't know. I
Like-
saw the tweet as well. I don't know by who, but
Yeah, I'm just like, no, that's a choice. Like, you made that choice, bro.
but
You know, people wanted to buy it at first because it was, the check mark said either bought it or it's a legacy account. And now that that's gone, people who were like trying to look like they had a legacy account are like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I bought it.
yeah.
yeah,
That's
so
all there is now, though, isn't it? It's just it's not a verification thing anymore. It's a features thing.
Yeah.
Yes, do
Why
you-
are you laughing?
Because you're trying to keep talking and Kev keeps cutting you off.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
But yeah, there is no point of it anymore. It is.
This
It
is
is
monthly
pointless.
as well, right?
Yeah, it's not just £8 one payment.
£8 a month to have a blue tick.
Yeah,
That doesn't even verify that
No.
you are a person anymore. So it's literally just a blue tick because anybody could have the same account name and have a blue tick if they
Yep.
paid the £8 a month.
Yep.
And they don't check any kind of like, they don't like vet them in any way to see if this is the actual person.
Nope.
So it isn't a verification in any way.
No.
It's just a blue tick.
Oh my god.
yeah.
That's the greatest TLDR I've ever heard.
It's ridiculous.
I saw a good one. There was, I think it was a police Twitter, and they were like, we're the real one. Anyone else is an impersonation. There's a reply directly underneath it of an almost identical named police station going, no, we're the real police station.
Exactly. It's just going to become a shambles, right?
Yeah.
It
It's
did
gonna be-
last time he got rid of the verification because it went away and then it came back, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what the whole legacy stuff was for initially, right?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
because they took it away. The website went to shit, and they were like, "Oh no, we haven't got rid of it." But yeah,
It's ridiculous.
it
It's
is
gonna
funny.
be a funny like couple of months where people piss around with each other though, and it like it is just gonna be
Yeah.
who's who.
Well, I think the best bit is like people can mess. And I think this happened last time. People were messing with companies, so they would make. Oh, there was
There's the Eli
the pharmaceutical company.
Yeah, the Eli
with the
one.
vaccine,
Its stock tanked because they were like, insulin is free.
Yeah.
Do you think like Elon Musk saw the success of Among Us and was like, let's turn Twitter into Among Us?
Among Us. Twitter.
Elon
Among Us.
Musk went up in front of the board and went, Among Us.
Genius, sir.
And they're like,
Genius.
oh my god.
Isn't he looking to change the name of Twitter?
Yeah, Titter.
No, that was him.
Shut up.
That was it. That was him taking
It
the
was,
piss.
taking the
um,
piss, brother.
It's a while ago I saw it. Supposedly they were trying to make I can't remember. It was like at the moment it's Project something.
Oh.
And they were trying to make like a Twitter fully integrated like social media, so like more videos and everything on it. Like sorry, I'm talking shit.
Like the thing in China.
Have you ever seen WeChat in China?
Yeah, WeChat in China.
Yeah, so WeChat is like social media, WhatsApp,
Yeah, the
payments.
PayPal.
It's like everything. And they wanted to basically create a company like that in America. And then supposedly the first step was
X-Corp.
supposedly the start of it was buying Twitter.
So cringe.
And then they add all the other
That's
stuff in.
excellent.
Because he owns PayPal as well,
X-Corp.
does he not?
Don't know.
Something to do with PayPal.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, he's like trying to combine Twitter and PayPal.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's what like I think WeChat is pretty successful in it.
I mean, I haven't tried it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Oh no, eBay now owns PayPal. Elon was just a massive shareholder.
Ah, okay.
There you go.
All right. Any other Twitter drama you
No, I
got?
know nothing about Twitter, so pass
No?
on me.
No?
I've just been enjoying
Shambles.
like the first day everyone was like, every single tweet was like, oh, guess I've lost my blue tick.
Yeah.
Or I missed my blue tick. Or this is actually me, even though the blue tick's not there.
I've just seen like people going like, oh, now that my tick is gone, I can finally post pictures of my ass. Something like that.
Oh. Who the fuck do you fall?
Thirsty stuff.
I actually did see it was like a VTuber one and it was like, now I don't have my tick. I can finally post nudes.
There you go.
But I'm like, pretty sure like Twitter you can post anything anyway, can't you? It's pretty outrageous. what
Yeah,
they allow.
yeah.
It is not, there is all sorts of nudes on Twitter. Like,
Unlawful
there's
lands.
just porn on Twitter.
Yeah.
It literally is porn. I was surprised
Yeah.
by that as well. The boobies trend, when that was trending, I would just go into a comment section and there would just be tits.
How
Yeah.
is I might be outing myself by it or something, but how is the For You page like gathered?
Isn't it algorithm?
Because I just have tits everywhere on there, literally tits.
Well,
But it
well,
comes-
well, Dale.
Because I discussed this before.
No.
Because the tags are always like gaming and anime,
Oh,
yeah. So
okay.
it's like
but it's just boobs.
yeah.
Well, you know, it knows you're a man.
I see a load of
So-
right wing shit on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was saying
Want to swap, bro?
I think I was saying to the
yeah.
I was saying to the boys the other day, I watched a fight on Twitter. right? It was like a parking lot fight.
And now all you see is fight
And
haven.
all I see now is like, these pages which are like called like fight porn and stuff. And like
Fight porn.
literally
fuck?
they're fucking bad though, because some of them like people just get knocked clean out like in the streets, and they just get left there. Like, and then to the point the other day, I got pushed one which was like about bad stuff happening on CCTV, and it was someone in a workshop who grabbed a live wood lathe, and it just spun him up like, and you can imagine what happened. Like, and I was like,
What the fuck is a wood lathe though?
I think I've just what's that?
What's a wood lathe?
Basically, it's imagine just a big shaft spinning really fast, right?
Oh, right.
Someone's got caught on the shaft and they've spun around with it.
I saw that too.
And I'm like, I've just gone onto Twitter, I've searched nothing, and I think I've just seen someone die.
She gets out at the end though.
Pardon?
She gets out at the end.
I stopped it. I was like, that as soon as like they got sucked in and was spinning, I was like, hey, go on, as like,
Twitter's turning into a 4chan
yeah, I was
page.
like, what is this like? It's,
That pretty much sums it up. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like another like Tumblr, like old Tumblr, like it's kind of.
Oh, Tumblr for me was just horny teenage girls.
I
like,
never used Tumblr. Like,
But it was known as the only.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so
of it,
basically, someone bought Tumblr, they banned porn, and then
Oh, yeah.
their website failed because they basically found out that all Tumblr's traffic was
Porn.
But yeah, I don't know, it's weird. But because Twitter was the
That's
only
fucked though.
old like social media that was still kind of like timeline based,
yeah.
where you kind of see like what your friends are posting and all that. But now
Oh.
obviously it's gone down the.
It was
Weird.
like Matt was complaining. He was like, "Oh, Ebbs, do you see like plane crashes on your TikTok?" I'm like, "No." He's like,
TikTok?
"Oh, yeah, on TikTok." He's like, "I watched one video about a plane crash, and now all TikTok is giving me is plane crash videos." And he's terrified of planes. Like, he does not want to see that shit.
Oh, that's fucking rough. Poor guy.
Imagine if TikTok just started giving you kind of like plane crashes. You'd be like, your trauma would be so much worse.
I did get given one on Twitter, and it was a way I've never seen a plane crash before, and I went, that's just made it worse.
Yeah.
So much
So,
worse.
Ugh.
we watched a TikTok the other day. No, it wasn't a TikTok, sorry. It was on Daily Dose of Internet. And it's a camera from the front of a plane in a storm. And it was like, oh, this is what pilots see in a
Yeah.
storm when flying their plane. And it's basically nothing.
Yeah.
They can't see. And like, I know, we and Kai were both saying, I know they like fly with, GPS and everything and it's autopiloted, but it's still scary that you're like, the pilot just can't see anything. Like,
Yeah, if there was any reason for that pilot to have to take over, they can't see
got
it.
no up, like.
The
Yeah.
only time pilots land is in like clear days. You know when you're ever in like storms or like excessive wind and stuff. It's just all done by a computer.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cool. Fuck
cool.
planes though.
I don't mind them.
I'm gonna become a Florida man. I'm never leaving. Like
Oh, yeah.
I never stepping foot on a plane. Or a
It's
boat.
just like, no,
No.
my life. I want to travel the world.
He's gonna invest in a boat.
Yeah.
No, fuck boats too.
I like boats
You just get a
either.
boat.
Because I'm more likely to die on a boat.
Yeah.
It's okay. I come from a family of sailors.
There you go.
Absolutely.
So become a sailor.
Yeah. You don't trust me?
I ain't sailing to Iceland on a boat. That's
Whoa.
the fucking choppy waves that is.
Well, bro, don't even trust me, bro.
Flying to Iceland is fucking choppy. Something about that ocean.
Literally like 2.5 hours.
That's 2.5 hours of hell.
2.5 hours.
Say something about that ocean. It's taking my family, that ocean is. That's deep.
You're trying to convince him to go.
Yeah. Sorry.
He says
Yeah.
2.5 hours, but depending on wind, sometimes it's 3.5 hours.
That's true. Shit.
I feel like next time I fly, like further than the Netherlands, I'm gonna hate it because it's such like a quick flight, like 45, 50 minutes.
Oh, that's so
Sometimes
nice.
like I'm on the plane, I'm off the plane, like, you know.
That's the same as me like flying across Iceland. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's mental.
Every time I fly to Singapore, which is like 14 hours or 18 if you take a change, I'm like, I'm going business next time. And then I go to book the tickets and I'm like, I'm not going business. It's way too expensive. It's crazy. It's like 8 grand, 9 grand.
Jesus.
Whereas like economy is like 600 quid.
I don't know. I'll be a fucking peasant in airplanes.
So yeah.
I'm taking the common seats. If it went for this jackass.
I want to sit comfortably on the
Yeah.
Do you fly like
Yeah, most of the time we do business.
prick?
It's not expensive like
Yeah, it's not like
I know.
he does first class when he goes long haul.
Oh yeah. Like, it's one of the things you can do is like just before you fly, you can ask about spare business class seats and upgrading, and they might give you one.
Oh yeah.
I think we did that a few times, didn't we? Like we'd go on the website and look for seat upgrades, didn't we?
I don't know
And
about
the
the website.
business class seats would go for like really cheap at the last moment.
Fair. That's not a bad shout then.
Right. Sorry.
What are you doing?
Right, moving on. So moving on then. So from Twitter. So Jidion, which if you don't know who he is, he's quite a big. Ebs is laughing. I feel like I said the name wrong.
No. I know what video you're on about.
Oh, okay.
I'm laughing at the video in
All
my
right.
head.
So Jidion is like a really big, I guess you'd say, prank YouTuber. He does like a lot of pranks, and recently he did one in a university in Texas where they essentially went into a lecture theater and like pranked everyone there. But there was a warrant issued for his arrest for trespassing, and then like a couple of days later, he got pulled over by the police. So he knew he was going to get arrested because he had a warrant out, and he just switched on his Instagram live. And he streamed the arrest, and it's quite funny. To be fair, he's pretty decent with the police. The police officer who takes him in is like, "Look, I got no choice. You got a warrant, blah blah blah." But he's like, "Right, do you mind if I get a thumbnail?" And the officer like doesn't have a clue what he's on about. So he puts the phone down on the bonnet of his car, and then the whole time he's putting his handcuffs on, he's like pulling like faces
Surprise
and
face.
moving his head, and he's trying to get a shot where it's like his face, the handcuffs, and the police officer. So like the police officer's dancing around him, and he's like moving his head like this, trying to get the perfect thumbnail for the video.
He's quite lucky he's got a decent police officer at that point, though, because if
Yeah,
he's doing
100
these movements,
Yeah, they could just
yeah,
especially in America.
Yeah, like I wouldn't play that game. Like I wouldn't risk that.
Yeah, so I don't fully understand like the warrant system and that in the US, but the officer is like, you have an open warrant. I was gonna give you a warning, but I phoned it in, and they're like, no, I have to take you in. So like, I got no choice. You got to come with me, and like pretty chill. But I don't know. You see so many videos of like you've got a warrant, and they're just like,
Get
down
the fuck
on
out
the
of the
floor.
car.
Yeah.
You're on the floor, and then they're
Hands
giving you
behind
some
your head.
jabs in the back of the head, like so. Yeah, it's pretty.
Jesus.
I mean, it probably depends on the person you get in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but that was quite a.
That policeman was so mellow as well.
Yeah.
And like, to be fair, what is his name? Jidion?
I think so.
He was doing as he said.
Do you mind if I just watch the video real quick? Like,
Yeah,
or at
go
least, like,
ahead.
a-
It's like
What's the
30 seconds. Hang on,
word?
I think I can send it because
What's
it's
the
in
word I'm looking for? Like compliant? No.
yeah.
Like when you.
Jidion was compliant with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Of how many times I've gotten pulled over
Yeah,
and went
dude.
live. Like, it's actually ridiculous.
You've seen it, Kai.
You won't?
Yeah.
Bro, Kendrick, say I won't. Jake, bro, you say you're not gonna fall
You can
for it?
skip
What's up,
the
ma'am?
start a little bit
My
until
manager
the
just joined.
guy turns up.
I'm about to go to jail. Can you call Lawyer Mark? Cause I'm about to go, like, I'm getting arrested.
Yeah, he knows.
Issues up in Harris County.
Yeah, I'm supposed to pay off my bond. Me and my lawyer, we were just gonna do it after the weekend.
Okay, well, you have an active warrant with Harris County,
I know.
and I was just going to give you a warning, but they want to place a hold, so you're going to have to come with me. Do you have someone that you want to call to come get the vehicle?
That's the thing. I don't have anybody here right now. Everybody's out of town.
Okay. Well, if you put your phone in your pocket, man, I'm going to have to put you in handcuffs.
Is it cool if I get a thumbnail
So this is the bit she's trying.
before you put the handcuffs on?
Well, I'll let you do that once we get to the station, okay, bud?
Okay.
Like I said, I was just going to give you a warning that Harris County's
No, it's not your fault. It's all good.
place a hold.
When was this? I feel like I have seen the.
Like this week. It's quite recent.
It's all good.
All right, bud. You have anything in your pockets?
It's
My
funny,
wallet
isn't it? Like,
and some cash.
we could probably send it to Sam, and then instead
Can you do me a
of
favor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it.
That's
we can
surprise
cut this
face.
bit out,
So
and then
good.
All right, chat. I'm going to jail. See you boys later.
Bye.
I'm just in that.
That's brilliant.
yeah. So I don't think it's the first time he's been arrested
The hustle's
because he does a
great.
lot of like public public pranks. I think he also did. Did you see the video of Nico where he pranked the leader of the KKK? Oh, you haven't seen that?
Do you mean the one where he's like, he wants to join the KKK and then turns up and he's a man of color, right?
Yeah, and so he gets an interview with the leader.
Yeah.
And he like, you know when you have like trick words and then you put them together and they say a sentence. He gets like the leader of the KKK to like say like really stupid phrases.
I've definitely seen this.
Yeah, so Jidion also did a video. They did it at the same time.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so I thought that was quite funny.
Yeah.
And then I guess moving on to Twitch, as we've always got bloody drama around Twitch.
We love Twitch.
So Kai, who, if you don't know, I think still holds the record for the most sub streamer. I think.
I don't. No, he's not the most sub streamer anymore, but he had the most.
He had the
highest
subs,
peak. Yeah.
And so they've been banned. So Twitch have come out and said the reason for the ban is due to repeated simulated sex activities in GTA RP, which is quite funny because I think they've done a lot worse in person on their streams.
Got handy in person.
So yeah, it very much looked like he did get a hand job on stream and didn't get banned. But it's come at a time where he has started to float the idea of streaming on Kick.
Yeah, so it was around the same time that he had the trainers like sent to him, right?
Yes.
And he had the Twitch ones, yeah?
Yeah.
But he also had ones from Kick, and he was saying how much nicer these ones from Kick were.
Yeah.
And people were like, is this the reason?
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny that, like, you know, it kind of happens at the same time. Because it just
Yeah.
looks like Twitch has thrown their toys out of the pram. Like, how dare you like their trainers more?
It wouldn't make sense though, would it? It's like, oh shit, one of our biggest streamers is gonna go to Kick. I know. Let's ban him.
Yeah.
He's definitely not gonna go there now.
Just get him some nicer trainers, you know?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's so dumb. And like, especially when the fact of there seems to have been so many more times where they could have banned them.
Yeah.
Like a lot more legitimate reasons and they haven't. And then obviously all the Kick stuff comes around and then they've been banned now. So I think
We've done worse on stream.
I'm pretty sure it's
I've
What?
sucked a lot of dick in Valorant.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
sorry, this reaction was brilliant to that.
I've
That
done
was as if like you didn't know. As if you just found out. He does what?
No, mate, I sit on the side and watch.
She's like, he never sucks my dick. In my
No, like whenever we play games, there's a lot more like
yeah.
Glock.
sucking, thrusting,
Gluck looks.
teabagging.
Yeah.
Any way to do something suggestive. So
But like, this action almost seems like Twitch know that he's moving. So are they trying to just preempt it in a way? Like, do you think maybe they've had some source that's like informed them that he is moving, not just he's toying with the idea?
Well, they have known to be petty, right? When people have moved,
True.
because they did. This always comes back up, but they streamed like porn on Ninja's channel, didn't they?
accidentally, but yeah,
accidentally.
still.
So, but like, what about this? They ban Kai, but when he gets unbanned, he gets more publicity and more subs.
Maybe.
Probably.
Because he's going to get unbanned. It's temporary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nicki Minaj has come out recently and
Fucking
said
Nicki.
that she wants to do a stream with him.
She.
You could do that on Kick.
Let's go, Nikki.
They need to change the wording with Twitch bans.
Oh.
These are suspensions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not banned.
So
It's not a ban.
I don't know if this is what Twitch come out and said, but I think this is from the TOS. So it's like, to ensure content on Twitch is appropriate for diverse audiences, sexually suggestive content is not allowed on Twitch. And you're like,
You didn't like the word prohibited, did you?
nah, that was a risky one for me to read. Like, but it's the same thing.
Oh, I got to start streaming Valorant.
And you're like,
That's not sexually.
there's so much
It is, though.
sexually suggestive content on Twitch.
I go, nice ace, and then I start sucking.
Yeah. I mean, a character in there.
That's
said,
just proper etiquette.
It is proper etiquette. That's my bad. That's my bad.
come.
It's not suggestive. It's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
justice
gotta
in this
celebrate
world.
with the boys, you know?
I'm not suggesting you should suck dick if someone gets an ace. I'm telling you to suck dick.
I mean, even your Gary's mod was kind of suggestive the other day, where it's like, fart for me. That's what
Excuse me?
that's what they were doing.
Oh yeah, when I needed hints, I was going, fart for me.
Because in Gmod you can change the pitches of your farts. So every time you could do a different one. So they were like,
Oh, it was prop hunt.
Prop hunt, yeah.
You know,
Prop
the
hunt,
fart
yeah.
echo.
Yeah.
You can change the pitch of it.
That's fucking brilliant.
So it's like someone would be like, give me a big one. And then they would change the pitch. And then do it.
Oh, that's
I have
class.
hunters around me, and I'm like, I can't hold it.
It's fucking bad luck. But so
G-Mod
the
is
other
gold.
thing that
Yeah.
come out about Kai this week is, so when he broke the sub record, it was during his subathon, and supposedly he made about $2 million during that subathon. But people are claiming that Twitch in the same time period made $10 to $15 million from him, and then they're being like, oh, they're ripping
I
Kai
heard this
off.
number came from DJ Academics, right?
So what I got down is
No real solid
there's
sources.
no real solid source.
Yeah, so apparently it came from DJ Academics. So
Who's
it's
that?
just some guy on Twitch.
So it's
like-
basically there isn't a solid source. But I thought this was quite interesting for two reasons. It's like the fact that
He's on
because the-
Rumble, actually, is he not?
because
I don't know.
the tweet got so much traction, everyone just like takes it for face value as if like, well, yeah, of course that's what happened.
Yeah.
But then someone who does benefit from it, Trainwrecks, has come out and backed up the tweet, being like, oh, like top contracted streamers would make this money, and they're not going to back Kai for it because they don't want to lose their deal essentially.
Of course he did.
But of course, it
he
benefits
blamed,
him.
It benefits him to say this.
Yeah.
But he also blamed Pokimane and Hassan of covering up sexual assault, and they had nothing to do with it. So
Yeah, I think so. The part about no solid sources, I think actually that also ties in with Trainwrecks, because I don't think anyone would have him as a credible source for anything,
No.
which
not
is
really.
quite interesting. Like, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's still interesting in the sense of like, I know obviously. So say it is real, right? And like Twitch did earn that much, and they only got paid that much. Like it does seem massively out of favor or whatever. But then it's also interesting when you think about like just any normal jobs. I know it's a lot harder to say how much someone earns a company, but I mean, if you take employees as a whole, big companies make stupid amounts of money out of employees, right?
Even within like, so you look at a company, you look at the one part of the company, say like one store in particular, the percentage of what they pay the staff versus what the profit of that store makes is, it's not much different to that, like, you know. The numbers aren't as big maybe, but
Yeah,
you know,
but it's still like muggy in that
yeah,
sense.
they're like,
But
and you know, I'm not kind of saying Kai shouldn't be getting more, but I'm just
yeah, so
saying
I think
the difference isn't there because that's how we've just kind of run as a system.
What happened?
I think me and Kai read the same line at
I've
the
just
same
read
time.
the same headline.
Yeah.
Oh right, okay. We'll get to that. we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So so this also ties in with, as far as I'm aware, Kai, like Asmongold, for example, is one of the big streamers who has never been offered one of these like exclusive Twitch contracts where like
All right.
they pay you monthly just for hitting streaming hours and stuff. So I think it also ties in with that, where everyone's like, you know, give the man the money because he's like the biggest streamer or whatever. So yeah, but I guess at the moment, like Twitch's position is like they're the biggest, so they don't need to pay out as many of these contracts.
It's also the thing, like, stream X amount of hours, right? If they're already doing it, but don't offer it. You know what I mean? It's like, we know Asmongold is hitting his streaming hours.
Yeah.
So why does he need a contract? Other than to keep him there. I don't think he's going to go to Kick.
No, but like it would be,
Because people will go there and immediately go, shit, there's no fucking money.
your company's never gonna like, I mean, they might do, but realistically, you've got to approach them with your demands, like what you want and what you expect, before they decide they're actually going to go ahead with it. Because if they can get that work for cheaper, if they can get more profits off you, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
It's just how a company works.
Dale's like, it's just capitalism.
But it is, right?
Yeah.
Glenn, your microphone's so far from you now.
The stand's broke.
Hold it up.
So like,
There's nothing wrong with Stan.
not the thread on this is broke. So
It
you
works
can't,
pretty well.
if you tighten it, it keeps dropping. So I do apologize.
Keep it up.
We'll buy a new stand for next week.
Keep it up, bud.
The problem
I
with
like
Yeah, we'll
our
get a new
stand.
stand for next
I
week.
like our
a whole
stand.
new stand.
Stan, I'll keep you.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with going to Kick is that, sure, the sub split's better, but I don't think you can get your audience to go there.
No.
There's gotta be a good portion of most big streamers sub-based that are subbing monthly and have forgotten they're subbing monthly as well.
Well, one thing about subs that's really interesting, the huge streamers, I didn't realize this. A lot of them, half their sub count is from Prime. So like I know I was seeing XQC, like over half his subs is from Twitch Prime. So it's like, obviously, if you go to another platform, I mean, that's gone instantly because obviously, in theory, Twitch Prime is free to people to give. I know they obviously pay for Amazon Prime or whatever, but
It's
you know
just
they can
part of-
give that way. But no, like that's
They'll
probably
get rid of Twitch Prime.
That's what I mean. If they get rid of Twitch Prime, that's going to be a huge drop of income for like
Yeah.
big streamers.
It's
But
really rough.
well, there's more Twitch drama. But since Ebbs laughed at it, we'll move on to the funny news I found.
Not
this
the
week.
RuneScape drama?
Yes, but it's tied in with Twitch.
Oh, right, okay.
So there's a woman who was born with 2 vaginas, right? And I can't remember the name of the condition, but that's not the bit which is interesting, right? So she come out, and I don't know why she did the interview, but she basically uses one of the vaginas for her husband, and then the other one for work. And she says she now makes $12,000 a week from Pornhub and OnlyFans. And I thought that was quite interesting. I just wanted to, what are your thoughts on that? Like, you know,
Yeah.
I read it, right? She has, I don't know what it specifies by 2 vaginas, but like, she only has 1 set of labia. So there's one entryway that splits into 2 quite
All right.
immediately.
All right.
okay.
Wait,
It's just looking so confused.
So she says that men used to like, she would have sex and it would immediately plow into her cervix.
That sounds painful.
ouch. That confuses me.
So like her,
It's like a crossroads.
she has 2 she has 2 vaginas, 2 cervixes, and they are much lower down. She got a shallow vagina, basically. Vaginas. But I don't totally know how it works because it specifically says she has like 1 set of labia.
Yeah, I guess the more confusing bit is like, what does she mean when she's like, this part's for my husband and this part is for work? And like,
She's
does
gonna
she-
give him like
does she genuinely distinguish between like, no, you can't see or touch that.
when she
That's
goes
for
to
my
work,
husband.
she gives him directions. Like,
do you see what I mean? Like, I think that was the.
She's like,
the
no,
interesting bit.
go left.
right, once you're in, take a sharp left.
Yeah, it's like what?
Wait, dictionary
you're saying,
escapes
like-
me though.
And then what? Does she come home one day and she's like, "Sorry, husband, I cheated on you today." And he's like, "What happened?" He's like, "Oh, he didn't follow the instructions."
He didn't know his left from right.
Yeah, like,
right.
Yeah, you're saying why would she do the thing? She has
yeah, true.
She
It
has
promotes
porn on Pornhub.
Yeah,
She-
exactly. So
she now earns 14,000.
yeah, she probably she gained a lot of attention
Yeah,
from.
more people are
that,
going to be
of course.
like, fuck, I want to see how it works.
I guess a lot of people will be like, I'm just interested to know what that setup is like. So then they will go to
That
her
setup.
channels, right?
Set
Make
the
it
2
sound like a little
vaginas.
computer setup.
like she planned it all. Like, go on, Stan.
Did you do research? Did you look?
No, I didn't.
I bet you did.
You bet
I
you
bet
fucking
that's a
did.
good question. I bet you look.
I didn't. But we can all look after the stream if you want.
Okay, but what do you guys think about if your partner did that?
Oh, I couldn't hack it.
No.
No?
Nah.
Nah.
If that makes me like
Yeah, I know.
bottom G
Like,
or whatever, I don't care. I couldn't hack it.
some
like.
people are okay with it, like,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't be.
We spoke about it before. It was like, you wouldn't want me to do porn.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so. Yeah, that solves that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a unanimous decision.
Yeah.
We're like,
I get
we
like
wouldn't.
even like OnlyFans and stuff. I get that like people are okay with it and that's fine. But like if Claire was like, "Oh, I'm gonna start OnlyFans," I'd be like, "I don't think I can hack her." Like,
Yeah, but you gotta know how comfortable you would be with the situation, and if you know
True.
you're not comfortable with it, like it would, to me, it would probably tear the relationship down at that point. And like, I wouldn't want that to happen. Therefore, I've got to be clear that I'm not comfortable with it.
True. But what about feet pics?
Nah.
Nah. Still no go.
I just
No
think
face.
it's
Trying to test.
No,
the waters
no,
there.
no.
You asking
Yeah.
Because people make
Mate,
it
my
so
toes are minging.
Yeah,
you
they
know,
like
you don't know how to
kind-
see
kind
that.
of-
people make it
Feet
so
pics.
weird, Evs, don't they?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you'd be like, haha, it's my feet, and then somebody would be like, oh yeah, here's my
Yeah, you
cum
could
tribute,
show-
and I'd be like, I can't act that.
That's what I mean. You
Show
get
a
like,
crease
yeah.
between
Ah.
your finger and somebody be
No,
like,
but like if you disconnect, say for example, like nobody knows who I am, they just see my feet. But I make money from my feet, but nobody knows who I am.
Still fucking weird.
It's still weird in a sense.
You
innit?
also hate feet.
I don't hate feet.
You hate feet.
I hate my own feet.
You hate feet.
No, I love drawing them.
Oh.
you know, draw.
That's completely different.
Are you confessing to something.
You're not gonna suck my toes.
Ew, no.
See,
Exactly.
there
Yeah,
it is.
okay. Guys got his point
You
across.
have sucked his toe.
No.
Did you not? Did you not do it during the charity
yeah.
stream?
You
I've
ate-
sucked
Wait,
his
did I
toe.
You
suck
ate,
toe?
you ate pizza from his
She ate
feet.
pizza from my feet.
I have sucked his toe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Josh sucked my big toe.
Yeah.
I took fucking pizza off his toe.
I washed my feet thoroughly.
I feel like the boys have done more
And I'm
intimate things with you
Glad
than I
that you
have.
did that.
I gave him a big old wash,
But
then I
it
put the
was-
pizza on my feet.
It was fine. I don't like feet, but it was fine.
I mean, I guess if you clean them up nice, it's no different to like kissing your arm or something.
Oh, if you want to give Lon some cold sores, you can have a makeup with Kaif now.
Got some cold sauce.
If I won't be seeing it, it'll be gone by the time I go and see it.
Do you remember last time I had cold sores and I gave you cold sores?
Yeah, you did.
You didn't give Dale cold sores, you gave Lon cold
Yeah.
sores.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't get
It
it.
traveled through.
You necked me, didn't you, at like EGX? Yeah. And then like obviously just through like Lon being around, she ended up with a call. So I was like,
Oh.
that makes sense.
It's really funny that in the sense that it was all seen as if like you and Ebbs didn't come in one day and you're both looking at Kaif and Lon and being like, what's going on
No,
here?
because we knew
That's what I
the
mean,
events.
you knew what
And
happened.
we were just like, yeah, makes sense.
Me and Lon are just on the sidelines. We're like, oh, well, they're necking each other again.
Someone was like, you wouldn't go kiss Dale. And I was like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And then
Watch
I,
me now.
You weren't even in the room at the time. I was just like sat on a bed.
I charged in.
And you just dived in at me like.
Oh, okay. On that note then of back to the boys kissing, like, which tends to come up quite often. So
Okay.
there's a Twitch streamer called Odablock who plays mainly RuneScape. And they recently got banned, right? And what they got banned for was basically paying someone to play their account, right? So account servicing.
Oh, right.
And they call the ban like real world trading. But it happened 2 years ago, right? And they said they flagged up his account in routine checks, right? So initially that got posted and everyone was like, well, that's fair. You break the rules, you get banned. But it's also weird because it's quite a gray area because RuneScape allows people to account share. So a lot of big streamers and YouTubers, because the game takes thousands or hundreds of hours to make certain accounts and builds, they just borrow each other's accounts. So it's like they kind of allow it anyway. But what come out is recently RuneScape removed the duel arena. Now what people used to do in the duel arena is stake in-game currency, but the in-game currency would be so much that it equates to like thousands of dollars in real money.
Jesus.
And you'd have people who were going into thousands of dollars of debt in real life, and it was causing a lot of trouble basically. So
sense.
they banned it because of gambling. So because that was removed, people started doing it on their own. So in the game, you can go into the wilderness and you can fight each other, right? So they would fight each other with the money on them,
Okay.
and it'd call a death match. You fight to death, right? But obviously, it's easy to scam. You know, one person could run away,
Yeah.
or they can teleport, this sort of stuff. So what? I can't remember her name. Let's just call her Streamer A, right? Streamer A set up a Discord for like an official place to do these death matches. So you go to them, you basically give them your money. They're like a middleman. You have the fight. If it all goes through fine, then they pay it out. But obviously they take a cut, right? Now that streamer they make a lot of money from doing that.
Yeah.
And she recently started dating an employee at Jadix, which is the company that owns RuneScape. So what there's lots of evidence for is she was using her boyfriend to target ban people.
Stella.
Stella, right? So if she lost, she would like get people banned so she can like keep the money. If she didn't like people, she'd get them banned. So Odablock recently started his own Discord to be a competitor to her Discord for the same thing. And then all of a sudden, he's been banned
It's starting to make sense.
for all his accounts. They banned all his accounts for real world trading. And funny enough, one of the accounts they banned for real world trading is what's called an Iron Man account. And the restrictions on an Iron Man account is that
You're
you
not
can't
gonna
trade
be
with
doing-
players.
yeah, you're not gonna
So
be
they've
doing-
banned an account for real world trading that can't even trade. And at the same time, the boyfriend, who works at like RuneScape, has been like promoted to like head of cheating and whatnot.
Okay.
So yeah, so they've been banned. Obviously, it looks like Stella is using their position. They've been doing it for a long time.
Yep.
But now they've banned Odablock. And then it came out, I only think a couple of days ago, that RuneScape have done like an internal investigation.
Yeah.
They've now changed his bans to temporary bans,
Okay.
and they're doing a investigation into the employee. So it's just quite interesting how it all.
It's like a fucking Game of Thrones episode.
Yeah, essentially, and it's all
Jeez.
down to them being like competitors and making money out of the game, really, which is also weird in the sense of like initially they said that these discords were like not okay, it's like bannable offenses, but they allowed Stella's one to go ahead, obviously because she got like connections.
Yeah.
So it's all. I haven't watched the video since he's been temporary banned because, like, I guess assuming he'll start playing RuneScape again, or whether he's decided to go like screw you and play a different game or whatever. But that was all quite interesting because it obviously involving like bans in the game and like corruption in the in the company and whatnot.
Exactly what it sounds like is actually happening. Like, I have no doubt about that. Like, it seems too obvious.
Yeah, there seems to be obviously you can fake like Discord screenshots, but a lot of them are like videos and stuff. But there's just so many people accusing this Stella person of the bans basically, and of like so she was also a staker, like used Dulurina herself, and she was in like tens of thousands of dollars of debt worth of in-game money as well. So she would borrow. They call them debt stakers. So they basically, if they lose all their money, they go to their Twitch chat, give me money, I'll pay you back once I go on a run.
Fucking slicker all
Slicker
over again.
moment,
Oh, so
yeah.
yes, it's the exact same thing, but with RuneScape Gold.
Okay,
But
okay.
obviously,
Christ.
it sounds maybe weird to someone who hasn't played RuneScape, but RuneScape Gold has real world money.
Yeah,
it's quite
it's got
easy to
value,
sell
yeah.
it to players. So in reality, it's no different. Yeah, but what she would do is she would just never pay anyone back. And then if people started to kick up a fuss too much, like in a chat or whatever, they would just get banned. So they would get banned on Twitch. They'd get banned in her Discord.
But she's just like outright scamming people. There's
Yeah,
no way that she
100%.
can lose in this situation, right?
Yep.
If she can just get people banned when she loses, or she wins and she takes the money. Like,
Yep.
she's not losing any money. She's not gambling anything. This messed up.
It
like,
is. It's
so
proper messed up. So it's bad enough anyway, where like because you're kind of doing it through Twitch, which is like outside of RuneScape. I mean, I wouldn't really expect Twitch to kind of RuneScape to get involved with like stuff that happens in Twitch chat. But then when you tie in having connections with an employee who will potentially, if you know the investigation's ongoing, so we'll see. But
That's a relationship that's going to end.
yeah,
Don't worry, my Discord kitten. I'll get them banned for you.
that's what I mean. It's like it's really.
God, I'd love, like, I've never seen a Stella person, but I'd love it if like this Trident guy is a bit of like a neckbeard, bit weird,
Yeah.
and she has absolutely no interest in him. That'd be the
Yep.
greatest end to the story.
But that could easily be the case. Like, just kind
Could
of because she's manipulating other people already.
I couldn't
through
believe she
scams.
I mean,
was
let's face it,
using
if you're a mod for Jagex, you probably are quite a
you,
weird guy.
it's easy to assume.
It's easy to assume that they might not be the most
Yeah.
sociable. RuneScape players know, you know. You know, you play it.
You know, yeah.
When you know, you know.
Glenn.
When you know, you know.
RuneScape's the best. Like one day we're getting Stan to play RuneScape, but I'm working on him. Like
Shall I cut trees? There
I
you
was saying
go,
to Glenn,
yeah.
I was like, it's one of the last remaining games where the XP required to level up is still what it used to be when it first came out. Like, for me to level up, I had to dedicate like every afternoon when I came home from school to leveling up. Because like
struggled.
to get your attack power, you have to do like a normal slash attack. To get your strength, you have to use a strength sword attack. You know? And it was like every time you swung your sword and did damage, you got like 8 XP.
It's
If I want
basically
to feel like I'm good at RuneScape, I log into my brother's account. Like, cause he's got a sick account. Like, but I don't know. Like, I kind of played RuneScape for a bit, but at the same time, I was playing like Adventure Quest, you know, like Battle On.
So as far as I'm aware, my account I gave to Yosh.
Yeah,
And Yosh got it banned.
Oh,
that sounds
no
about right.
way.
I played your account for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just standing around, all the boys had their way with
he
it.
gave it's not really gonna make sense to anyone. Basically, Kaif did a load of quests which allowed him to get these gloves which are really powerful for fighting other players, and none of us had the gloves because we couldn't do the quests. So we all wanted to use Kaif's account, and then you gave it to me first. I played it for a bit, then Josh started using it. There's actually a video on YouTube of Josh PKing on your account.
Who's PK?
Player killing.
player killing.
Oh,
So, but it's like a proper, you know, like the old COD montages where it's like just gameplay with like metal
Yeah,
music
yeah.
over it. It's like that.
Oh,
and like it
Jesus.
starts off with like, welcome to like Wadlet's PK video
Josh is the original
2015
YouTuber.
or whatever. Yeah.
Josh
I
was
showed
the,
you,
sorry,
um,
Yosh was the first.
I showed you my brother's account. Didn't
Yeah,
I?
it's good.
It was sick. Like, but
I was just that's literally all I played RuneScape for was leveling up and doing the quest.
Yeah.
Like the boys were like, "Oh, I love player killing, love player killing." That's like the best thing, and I'm like,
question, bro.
Monkey Isle.
I used to I used to get people to go out and like resource gather for me, and then like pay them a certain amount, and then do the whole like market stuff myself. Like, and then like, you know, I started off doing that for people, and you just kind of like mess around with the resources and
I
stuff.
remember
you know?
I'd come home from school and I'd catch lobsters for like 5 hours.
It sounds so daft.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
it
To
sounds
go to the
dumb.
game now without the nostalgia of as
Yeah.
a kid, it's the new player experience is pretty shocking. And then it's like they have really good end game, but it's like imagine, you know, like WoW Classic, right? Imagine if every expansion to get from the new level to the max level took as long as 1 to 60 in Classic, and they never changed it. So
Nah,
like
it's
every
longer than that. It's even longer
much
than
longer.
that.
But just as an example, every expansion you have to play like I don't know, well 60 hours or whatever.
It's
it
like
is.
5 WoW classics.
Yeah, it's insane.
And that's not even to get to max level, it's just to get to a level where you could probably do it.
Yeah.
like OG Burning Crusade, like getting from, was it 60 to 70? That took ages.
Oh, this is- yeah,
Now
this
imagine
is-
like 10 to 20 times
Yeah.
longer than that.
There's some skills which take like 100, like literally 400-500 hours.
It was
just
my
to get it to
afternoons
99.
after school for like years to get through this game.
Jesus Christ.
And that's why they have a big bottom problem.
And that's why Glenn botted it. I mean, what?
What?
Has anyone ever bought a RuneScape account?
No.
Nah.
Glenn has never bought a RuneScape account. And he's
You've never bought one,
He's
no?
never botted it either, you know?
Nah.
And with that reaction
Yeah.
that you just give, I believe you.
Thanks, bro. I wish we all played it though. It'd be fun.
So like Sam plays it, isn't he? You, Sam, and Josh.
I don't play it anymore because the
Even after you bought an account. I mean, you didn't buy an account. Even
the
with
part
your
of the
good
game
account.
that I enjoy doesn't really exist that much anymore. Like the community is so small, so it's not as fun. Like
Just remember how like bad it was. Like in like this, not the starting area is in the tutorial island or whatever, but like the starting like castle-y thing. And you'd have like loads of like fresh accounts there being like looking for GF, like
yeah, none of that really like exists anymore. I think part of
it's
the magic.
taken more seriously now. But back in the day, it was like one of the original MMOs. Like I guess, like
Yeah, now like now the people who seriously play it, like they'll train like 3 skills at once, and the game runs on like a tick system. So every set amount of times there's a game tick where you can put an input, and they will make sure that every single game tick there's an input. And it's like I don't know how they don't get like carpal tunnel like straight away just for playing for an hour.
they're
Whereas when
modded.
we were younger, nobody knew anything, and there wasn't many guides out, and like you'd go into school and like people just used to make up. They'd be like rumors that like, oh, if you go to this bank and go downstairs and talk to this dwarf, you get money, and like just everyone was terrible at the game.
Yeah.
And like that's what made it like so fun. Even with the
Same
we
with
used to
Everyone
do
was figuring everything out
yeah,
together.
we used to do PvP. Like everyone was terrible. Like the methods back then were just really bad. Whereas now it's the same thing.
Clinical now.
Every single tick, people are like, manipulating stuff, and
that's, to me, that's not fun.
no. So it's like if a new player turns up now and tries to do PvP, they'll just get smashed because they don't know all the things. So it's not as fun. Moving on, sticking with games, Nintendo. So as they don't really like people who play their games. This was I think last week. They went after people who were using mods for their games, mainly people who were playing Breath of the Wild with mods.
Yeah.
So there was one YouTuber who sort of spoke out on it. Now, instead of Nintendo...
Crobat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of Nintendo like copyright claiming the video or asking the video to be taken down, they were actually striking his channel. And basically how YouTube works is if you get 3 strikes, your channel's gone.
Yeah.
And instead of like striking his channel in like one batch, they like split it up and were given like more than 1 strike. And it wasn't just happening to the one YouTuber. So that was like last week. And then sticking with mods this week, there's a guy, which is quite interesting, called Gary Bowser. That's quite a cool name to have in this thing. And they were heavily involved in working on the jailbreaks for the Switch. So that is a bad thing. That's where you can essentially play like free games or modded version of your games on your Switch, right?
The reality of things, if they're working on the jailbreak, they're looking to just pirate the games.
Yeah, that's the main reason for it.
I think jailbreaking a Switch is far worse than jailbreaking, say, back in the day, like a PS2. Because the online store's on there, right? Like,
yeah,
that's a lot of fucking games.
Yeah, so and then the company that supposedly Mr. Bowser was working for, they sell the jailbreak as well, right? So they were making money out of it. But anyway, Gary went to prison for 40 months, right? And it's coming out of prison now. They've served their sentence. But Nintendo are now suing him for $10 million, but which he doesn't have. So the way they've worked it out is this Gary has to give them 25% of his earnings for the rest of his life until he passes away or until he pays the 10 million.
It's a bad thing,
fortune.
but that's just such like a
insane, isn't it?
It's so
it's
petty,
such like a crippling debt. Like they're literally going, right, you owe us for the rest of your life. Like we are going to be looming over you
The
for the rest of your
mafia.
life.
Yeah.
That's literally
But Nintendo just become the mafia.
Yeah, literally.
that's Nintendo just trying to make examples of people. Like, there's a reason they give 2 strikes to Crobat. It's like, because if they do the 3 strikes, then there's major outrage.
Yeah.
If they do 1, it's not bad enough. But
Yeah.
two puts the fear into you.
Yeah, they've specifically.
But for mods though, like
I know.
Yeah,
They've always been bad with their games, though, haven't they? Like,
yeah.
you play their game, they're like, my copyright claim that one. Think,
But they do it when people are making like fan projects of like, I know they're using their resources, but they're not selling these projects,
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe I'm being a bit blind here, but I don't see the harm in that.
They've always been like very backwards and behind the curve with like the internet and stuff, right? I mean, the Switch barely has internet services. You know what I mean? Like if you compare
playing
Switch,
online on the Switch is horrendous.
Yeah, it's like online on the Switch is not that much better than like back on the 360 or whatever,
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. Whereas I guess other games and consoles have embraced like, whether it's YouTubers or streamers, in some ways you can argue giving them like free advertising by playing their games and stuff and showing that their games are fun. They're still very much like, oh, well, if someone watches a YouTube video, they've seen the story, so they won't buy our games. So we'll ban you from making YouTube videos.
I think you discussed it before, but the whole like the Nintendo program in order to make like Pokemon videos and stuff, they stopped now. But it used to have to be like part of this like Nintendo partner program almost, right?
Yeah.
So that you could make content on Nintendo videos, like games and whatnot. It was absurd. Like they were just they have no concept of what the internet is like.
Yeah, it is very interesting. Go on, Stan.
Until fairly recently, there was no official way to listen to soundtracks. so people would upload them because they couldn't listen to it otherwise, and of course they'd get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they've put out official ways to listen to it. That's just how.
Ah, okay.
No, I didn't even know that, but
Jesus.
yeah, okay, that's a good, like, you know, they don't understand what people want on the internet,
No.
and they don't understand how then it works.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Buy-
love
buy
my
our
Nintendo
games,
products.
Nothing else. Just buy our games.
I love my
Yeah.
Nintendo products, and like it's probably my most used console, like the Switch. Yeah, I play it almost every day with like Pokemon and whatnot. But Nintendo are just fucking idiot. And I probably just lost 25% of my wage saying that.
They're coming for you now.
But they get away with it because they make good games.
Yeah, I know.
That's
yeah.
like
True.
they're a terrible company, but they make good games and unique games as well, isn't it? So
Questionable.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Then I saw the new Pokemon and it looked garbage.
Yeah.
oh, that's yeah.
I love it.
agree.
If you
I
had to
still
be
play
like,
it every day. Like it's because I play. Right, this is what I was trying to explain to someone. So like, you know, Call of Duty, yeah,
yeah, also garbage.
yeah, but people don't buy it to play the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
They buy it to play the online.
Yeah.
That's how I see the Pokemon games. I want that end game. I want to get to the point where I'm playing online battles against people, you know,
That's
building
fair.
up a rank.
Oh, okay.
So the story is just something that I power through.
That's fair.
And like, I'll still enjoy the experience of catching new Pokemon and
but there's
whatnot,
people who
but,
buy
like,
Pokemon games for the story.
yeah. And
And
I
they
think
get
that's
it
I think that's
absolutely
an
not
idiotic
delivered.
move because, like, I mean, with the new Pokemon game, like the story right at the end, I thought was pretty interesting this time around. But like, the build up was shit. But I don't care much for the story otherwise. Like, you know,
It died fucking fast though. Like the hype around the Pokemon game.
It was like a flash, wasn't it?
Yeah.
yeah. But then at the same time, the competitive scene around it is bigger than it's ever been.
Okay.
So it's
It's always gonna be big. That
I think
Yeah.
the main thing for me though is I haven't actually played the newest one. I've watched some of the boys play it on stream, but again, it's like they can get away with it because people love Pokemon so much,
Yeah.
right? But like if you compare the new Pokemon to Breath of the Wild, right? You can clearly see that they're not putting the effort in
yeah.
to make, like, you see some of the graphics,
Yeah,
you see some of the
they're
world,
atrocious.
and I know that's not why like you play Pokemon,
Yeah.
for example, but they look terrible. And then people might be like, oh, it's on the Switch, and then you're like, well, this is from Breath of the Wild.
Matter, yeah.
So, and I think that's the part which is a bit muggy. It's
I think
like,
it's because Game Freak is still, unfortunately, probably adapting to going from 2D to 3D.
Yeah. I mean, that is, yeah.
They should have adapted by now, but it is what it is.
They also got to push out a new game every year.
Yeah.
They
they
actually
don't
doing
have
a new-
to, do they?
Are they doing a new game every year?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They between remakes,
It's
Legends
just
Arceus,
spin-offs and stuff like that.
Yeah, they have to push out.
They have to get a new one.
That's a contract, is it?
Along with DLC as well with the new games.
They're fucked.
Yeah, they're not given enough time, I think, as part of it.
Yeah. And that's why you end up getting, like,
poopy games.
the extra game, you know, the Ruby Sapphire, and then you get Emerald, that kind of thing, because I'm assuming that comes under their, like,
DLC.
new game.
Like,
Yeah.
now you got DLC for that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fucking grip that the fucking Pokemon like has on its consumers as well.
Yeah.
It's the biggest franchise, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like I speak to my best friend who loves Pokemon. She loves Pokemon. I was like, she talks about the game. It's shit. Like she reviews the game and trailers like, oh my god, it looks shit. I'm like, yeah, it looks shit. Are you still gonna buy it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'm still gonna buy
and
it.
that's what it boils down to, innit? Like,
And at the end of the day,
They do.
if Lon wasn't buying Scarlet, like I bought Violet, if Lon wasn't buying Scarlet, I would have bought the two.
that's another thing that
Yeah.
in this day and age, it's not questioned that they release two games, they're the same, but like there's a couple of Pokemon in one that aren't in the
that I
other.
can't get from the other one. I could just
And
trade
then-
with people, but
yeah.
like there are moments where I'm like, right, I want this Pokemon, but with like a new build, and I can only get it through there. And I could inconvenience someone and like get them to trade me like another one again, or I could
Or
just
just buy it.
own the game and do it myself. I'm like,
Ah,
it's
fucking
really
hell.
shameful to say,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like I know I'd do it.
Dirty. Real
Neil.
dirty. But it always has been
Yeah.
since it came out. Like,
Poor Pokemon
But,
enjoyers.
I mean, it's a lot
Ebbs
of
is like,
Nintendo.
you have a curse. You're
Yeah.
cursed by Pokemon.
They
A
can't
lot of
spend any
Nintendo
more
products
money.
do it. Like games that come out
have
on
to.
Nintendo consoles, they have this idea of doing like two versions of the same game, like Mega Man, like on the GBA, like the Battle Network games. They've just released the a re-release kind of thing of them on the Switch, and then you're going through them, and there's like 6 or 7, I can't remember. Either way, it was like 50 quid, and I bought it, and I shouldn't have. But they're just like 2D GBA games, like.
Mate, Pokemon love their fans. I mean, they got 2 games. They got their fucking cards.
Yeah.
Where you'll be pulling cards for the rest of your life and you'll probably never get the one you want.
Oh, that's just TCGs for you, though, man. Like TCGs are that. Like they're designed. They call it cardboard crack for a reason. Like
It's just gambling for kids, basically.
yeah, basically. But yeah, what we're saying is like, is a theme on Nintendo consoles for them to have games that are like, oh, this has 2 versions. So the Mega Man Battle Network, after the first 2 games, I think it was, they then started doing like, Battle Network 3, but like this version or this version. Then they tried to do it with Fire Emblem as well, and then Fire Emblem had like 2 different versions of the same game, but with slightly different stories because you joined this side or this side, and it's.
Blech. Should we ban gambling? TCGs as well.
No,
Rob will have a
can't.
fucking breakdown.
I love TCGs.
That'd be the fun part.
Yeah. Rob will be like, he needs his cards. He
I've
needs them in his
stopped
life.
going like all in on card games now. I would, if I was to play, I would buy individual.
You're doing
cards.
Pokemon, One Piece, and
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Magic. Are you doing Magic?
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy is the one, isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't played Final Fantasy in a while, but I've got a tournament coming up next month that I've paid for. So
Well,
Just buy a card game on Steam, and then you're good.
it's not the same,
Then
bro.
you have all the cards, bro.
It's just as bad though. Don't you remember when Hearthstone came out?
Oh, yeah,
Like
Hearthstone's bad as well.
You and Josh were 2 of the people who instantly bought the £50 bundle.
100
right?
quid.
100 quid. Just
Yeah, I
day
dropped
one.
100 quid. But then I'm the person that dropped 100 quid on Genshin day 1. I dropped 100 quid on Legends of Runeterra day 1. And then I was coming up to see you in London. And I was bored on the bus. I was like, I'll build a new deck, 100 quid. And I dropped it.
I love it.
I can't help myself. Like,
Oh,
when
it's bad.
these collecting things, like, in random chance. And
can't
I'm
think
just
that-
like,
Law needs to put a
what could I
lock
get?
on your wallet when something new comes out.
I haven't done it in a while. I'm pretty good now. But
He's
it used to
reformed.
be-
He's reformed.
Ooh.
For
Yeah.
Hearthstone, it's quite bad because like you load up the game with the intention of battling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people with Pokemon, they just want the cards, right? They want to collect them. But with Hearthstone, like you need a deck to play, so you have to spend money from the get go to play this fucking
But
game.
you know what the best thing is?
What?
I don't need an opponent in person to play. I can do it on a bus. I can do it on a plane.
True.
That's
You know-
the difference.
yeah.
Like, so someone's like, oh, I'd love to play some card games now, but I'm like, away for work or something. Well, I'll just do it on my phone instead. Then, like, still, I have access to my card games then.
Yeah, it's
Without
still dirty though.
having
It's
to,
like you have to
Oh,
fucking,
it's
you have to keep
disgusting,
buying
yeah.
packs
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they keep doing expansions with cards in it, and you
Yeah.
have to buy those fucking packs as well.
And they like common. Not all TCGs do it, but like a common thing is to then rotate out the old cards. So these cards are no longer viable unless you're playing like a
The like
legacy
legacy
format.
version. Yeah.
So in the current standard meta, all these cards that I spent hundreds of pounds on,
Yeah.
they're not
Useless.
valid anymore.
Like the TCGs are going right. People have decks and they've slowed down their spending. What we gotta do? Make their builds invalid.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Like, and then it forces people to have to like fully invest into the newer stuff because while they had a majority of old cards and they might buy like the occasional 1 or 2 cards that are good in the new sets, they've got to fully invest to get the full of this new set because they need a lot of core cards from it now because they've lost access to other stuff that would have been the core cards.
It's fucking dirty.
That's what like chess is missing. They've just stuck with the same.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
The same
Same
patch
chess
the whole
pieces.
time. Like
Yeah, chess. You have to open packs. Maybe you might get the bishop at some point.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, bring out some like DLC characters for the board. Like,
Yeah.
God,
My
imagine.
queen can teleport across the board.
I'm surprised Valorant didn't have a fucking bundles where you might get the gun that you want for the game.
Yeah.
They already charge
Boxes.
a fucking arm and a
Like
leg.
CS:GO
You know,
boxes.
me too. It's like 70 quid for fucking skin. It's
Hey,
unreal.
The new skins, right?
New
These
bundle.
arcade ones, 10,000 RP. I think it's about $100.
Very Svenny.
But
and it's justified because the animations are different.
Different with every
I
colour.
think the gun skins themselves are ugly,
They're fucking ugly.
but the final kill animations are cool.
Yeah,
the Dance
yeah.
Revolution
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
is
yeah.
You have
awesome.
to upgrade the gun still, don't you?
yeah.
Yeah,
So you're
but
not even getting all of what you want for the
most
No.
people will have the
No, it's
Radiant for that,
$100
right?
plus the Radiant Knight that you have to get on
yeah.
top. It's
And
so
that's
bad.
a Spenny as well. If you want to buy the Radiant like points straight up,
Super expensive.
that's so expensive. So
I
you have to
bought-
buy the game, like the battle pass.
I bought one skin on Valorant, and
Yeah.
like it still hurts me that I did it. Like it's so much. Like
You are tight though, but then at the same time, the only time I've seen you kind of go, I want to splash out, was when you got into a TCG.
yeah, and
And,
that
like,
was difficult.
You were like a kid in a candy shop because you had like 4 or 5 boxes, like
Yeah.
booster boxes, like 36 packs per box, and we ordered like 4 or 5 of them. And he was sat there. I took a picture of him because I remember the.
You probably
smile
still
on
got
his
the
face.
picture somewhere,
Probably
so-
somewhere. There's a smile on his face when he had these like boxes, and like the things he said to me was like, "This is like something I always wanted to do as a kid." Like, you know, when you buy the individual.
Yeah, it always
boosters.
blew my. So I used to play. The only time I played card games was Yu-Gi-Oh. Right? It keeps falling. Like, I'm just gonna have to hold it. And basically, one friend, their parents used to buy them like all the cards, and it just blew my mind because it was just like at that point, you know, £3 as a kid, you're like, I'm rich, like, you know what I mean? And like, I just couldn't get over it. And then then the next time I played card games was with Dale, and like Dale was buying booster boxes, and one booster box is £110, and I'm like, you're mad. Like, are you dealing coke or what? Like that's nuts. I can't comprehend spending that much money on cards.
Yeah.
And then eventually Dale convinced me that if we
Act
share,
like this is my fault.
no,
you
no,
know?
no. Let me finish. If we share cards, so I was like, if I go all in, I want all the cards so I can play the decks I want. But it turns out the decks I like are very different from the decks Dale likes, right? So we were like, oh, okay. Well, if we just share the pool, it's like half the price. So then I used that to convince myself that I could finally play a card game. And then we did. We got all the cards. And then the first time, so we bought like 4 or 5 booster boxes or whatever it was. So it was like £500.
Yeah, you just like the fast
And then-
aggro all index,
yeah,
didn't you?
and
And I
then-
like the slow methodical decks.
Yeah, and then I was like, I can't remember. I would have been in my 20s, like by the time. I can't remember exactly when it was. And I'm like, I feel like I've wanted to open cards like this since I was like 10 years old, and I've never been able to. And now we're doing it, and it was so fun. I actually love doing it, but it's a lot
Did you
of money.
play?
Yeah, we
play
used to
quite
play like
regularly.
every Thursday. Yeah,
Made some good friends from it as well, like, which
Yeah.
is nice. Like, you know, people I still talk to. I don't go as often anymore, but I still talk to the people.
It's a shame since. Actually, don't worry.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah. Basically, don't worry. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It's something that he doesn't want to say.
Yeah, I'll tell-
because
I'll
it
tell-
gives a bit away.
I'll tell you after. But yeah, so that was really fun. The D&D movie, I think we've all recently seen it.
You seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just any like thoughts? I thought it was pretty good. Apart from
I said it was gonna be shit.
yeah,
I
and
said it was gonna be dog shit.
I thought it was gonna be shit, but it was good, wasn't it? I thought
I
it was
enjoyed it.
quite
You
decent.
enjoyed it, yeah?
Yeah, it
You
was pretty
thought
good.
it was going to be shit going into it.
It
So
really
I
is.
definitely thought it was gonna be absolute dog shit.
I thought it was going to be crap.
Yeah.
But watching
Hang on.
it,
Have you seen it, Stan? Shit! I forgot to ask the cameraman.
okay, we won't like
No spoilers then.
we won't put spoilers in on it. But what I found great about it was the decisions and the conversations happening a lot of the time felt like the things that would happen
In a D&D
with
session?
players in a D&D session, and they're going through these stupid things of like, oh, we should try this, and like, it's not a big spoiler or anything, but like when the I can't remember the barbarian woman,
Yeah.
when she was like, oh, I could fire like an arrow through the window,
Yeah.
and like he's like,
Become
well,
a deer or
just
something.
like, yeah, and all the stupid shit like the
Yeah.
deer. And I was like, it genuinely, it sounds like the kind of like ideas players would spit off during a
Yeah.
session.
Yeah, I was explaining to Ebs as like some of the things that they did was sort of like something that they're quite wild and quite out there. But it was
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that the DM would
Yeah.
sort of like drip feed you, and then they'd go on there.
Yeah, it like the dragon and whatnot. You can look at it and go, "Oh, it's really stupid," but if a DM kind of surprised you with
Yeah.
that kind of thing with the dragon, you wouldn't question it, would you? You'd be like, oh, that's kind of funny. Like, you know,
when
they
Kaika
put a
explained
spin
it to
on
me, I was like, oh, okay, I understand how, like, because when I watched the movie, I was like, how is it so convenient that these things happen and then they get stuck in that area, obviously, but obviously they get out because they notice that, and then they have this. And I was like, that is so
I said
convenient.
to her, like,
How does that work?
the DM would drip feed it to hope that their players would sort of like latch onto it, and the film kind of plays out like that. It's,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very much like the boys
it's
having
a
a D&D
fantasy.
session together, just in the form of
It's
a
a
film.
fantasy movie, but it's still like you're watching someone's current Dungeons and Dragons session,
Which is
from-
why the
from
pacing was
inside,
so
like-
horrendous.
It definitely sparked the like passion to get into D&D.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I mean, I've been thinking about it anyway, but like the moment I watched that, I was kind of like, I really want to play now.
Yeah,
like, I
yeah.
really want to play.
But I realized that having a good DM is really the
Yeah.
make or break when
Yeah,
it comes to a
absolutely.
session.
That's why we gotta like really vet this person.
Yes. So there's a podcast on Spotify that I listened to like 2 episodes. It's like girls that never played D&D. So this DM was really good. So everything is obviously audio, right? But he's taking these girls that have never played D&D and he's giving them their characters, their like spells and classes, and put them in a really cool situation. And he leads them through really well. But he also has like a soundboard where he's able to play these sound effects and really get you into the story. And listening to that, it was like, wow, this is really cool. Like you're really seeing the environment and you're feeling the environment, you're hearing the environment. The girls were fucking loving it as well. They never played D&D before. And I was like, that really made me realize how like it's really important to have a really good DM
Yeah, absolutely.
that know what they're doing.
Like I've only realistically played with one DM, and like they were so invested in it themselves that like everything they did felt amazing.
Yeah.
They visualized everything, both like physically visualized everything by making props.
Oh, okay.
And like for the sake of battle, they would make everything out of like, you know, like the wooden lollipop. I think I've shown you pictures before. If not, I'll get them again. But like, you know, like the lollipop sticks and whatnot. They would literally make like battle towers and stuff like that to have like elevated levels and whatnot.
That's
But
really cool.
they would use a soundboard and stuff as well. And the world was completely their own build.
I love the idea of soundboards. I feel like adding sounds in. One thing that I did the DM, like when someone was doing something or like making a decision, if they took too long to make a decision, the DM would cut off like the action that they were trying to make and then make their decision, like as in the story wise. Like somebody was about to shoot you or something. And if you weren't fast enough in your decision, the arrow would fly.
Because, yeah, I mean, that's the reality of things. Like, I know obviously the whole point is it's kind of slowed down so that you can do stuff.
Yeah.
But still give them a limit as well.
A little bit, yeah, but they were like really confused. And he was like, I just let the arrow fly. And then it was just roll and see what happens. And it turns out like they take no damage or something like that. Like, and then you surprise the players as well. It was really cool.
You know what I like about the film? Chris Pine not being in a love story.
Oh, that's great.
Just refreshing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was different.
I think my favorite character was Hugh Grant. Like, I thought he was quite funny.
Hugh Grant.
You gotta love Hugh Grant though.
Bradley Cooper.
Oh yeah.
I was crying.
Was it? So me and Claire were like 90% sure that's Bradley
Yeah,
Cooper.
no, that's why I was like, I had to Google it.
Yeah.
In the middle of the cinema, I was like, is that Bradley Cooper?
That's 100%
Lauren was like, take
Bradley
your fucking
Cooper.
phone off. Like, I need to know. I was sure of it, but I couldn't tell because he seemed weirdly like soft-spoken, but weirdly
Yeah.
high-pitched as well. And I was just
Yeah.
like, it has to be him.
Oh, he was
You'll
great.
love it when you see her, Stan.
It was honestly, it
His
tickled
entire
me.
character and just everything around
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
so good.
Like Sam the entire time. Every time the camera went back to Bradley Cooper, Sam would be like,
It was brilliant.
Oh,
It
well,
was
the
so
next one
good.
we'll have to try and see is the Mario movie.
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
to go soon, like next week or something, if people are up for it.
Let's go.
But I've never been to that cinema that you guys went to, so I want to
Let's
go
go
there.
it's class.
Dad said it was really good as well. So
The only cinema we're allowed to go to now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam was legit as well. I was like, he felt like it wasn't real, like the cinema. Like when he walked in, he was just like a bar. It's like people just coming in here.
Yeah, because
Well,
it's cinema and food.
Yeah.
So you know, if they're constantly serving food, why not make some extra money and have a restaurant in the
Yeah.
opening area?
And drinks.
Yeah,
You can sit down and have drinks,
Yeah.
chat before the movie.
it's really nice there.
It's good.
Because we thought we
I'm well
walked
up for that.
into the wrong place. Because we turned up. Obviously, we were late as well. And
Standard.
you're like
too.
greeted by you know, as if like a restaurant, it's like, where do you want to sit? Have you got a reservation? And they're basically like, why are you here? And I'm like,
Just remember, I
What?
bought your ticket.
Right,
You
okay.
coach.
yeah. And I messaged you multiple times.
No, you were like, hey, talk later for your card details.
Yeah, you still haven't given them to me.
You got to ask, bro.
I have. Give them to me.
Just thank him for the tickets, no? Like,
No. Give me your card details.
Daz the same day was like, give me card details and pay now. Glenn was like, hey, we'll talk later about card details. Sam.
he, on his way over, was like, I bet you forget. I bet you
I have
forgets."
messaged you multiple times.
Yeah.
About
It's okay. Sam's like,
Yeah. You're editing this and you're like, oh, bro, I forgot.
Once we click stop, give them to me.
okay. Next time we go somewhere for convenience, I'll be like, buy your own.
Right, I'm on next week's podcast, by the way. I'm going to ask you if Glenn's paid you on that podcast as well. Right?
Okay.
Give them to me now.
Right now, on the podcast. Honestly, chat, Glenn does this all the time.
I'm a scroller.
Scammer he is. Glenn's a scammer.
I'm a scroller.
What are you scrolling up for?
He wants to
checking
know
the
what you
receipts.
actually said.
Yeah, I said, remind, I owe you money.
Oh, no, wait. Remember, I owe you money for tickets.
Yeah.
I'll try to remember to ask you for your details tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sounds like you needed to remember.
I mean, you could just message them to me.
I know, but where's tomorrow, Glenn?
We were in person. we
Tomorrow
were in
never
the
came.
office together.
And you still
Tomorrow
didn't pay
never
him.
came.
We were in person, in the office together.
You're a terrible person, you are.
I think the best part about this message is, remember, I owe you money for tickets.
Yeah.
And then I'll try to remember to ask you for your details tomorrow.
I've asked you there. You just
Well,
said
no,
it to me.
you just said, you didn't ask it. There's no question. You said, I'll try and remember to ask you tomorrow.
Well, I've asked him that day, so I'll remember to ask you again the next day.
And you
I
didn't
keep asking
remember.
you until you send me the details.
I sent him the details.
There we go.
Now pay.
Right, swap it to Dale.
He also asked that question while I was streaming, so that was pretty unfair.
Dale, talk about Mario movie.
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it.
I want to
Exactly.
go see it.
You definitely have seen the fucking peaches.
I haven't seen that either.
Have you not? It's
Well,
fucking everywhere.
Obviously, Jack Black's voice is for Bowser, and he's done the song Peaches.
I don't go on Twitter. I don't go on TikTok, and my Twitter's full of right wing shit.
Well, fair enough.
So I
Okay.
don't see anything anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not on TikTok.
I do have it. I just don't go on it.
Fuck, I spend my life on it.
true. Same.
Playing too much Valorant.
That's where I probably seen it. The Bowser's thing. It's like he's made a music video for it. It's on Spotify. It's everywhere.
Yeah,
It's really good,
It's
though.
popping off right now. Isn't it?
Ah, Stat! I'm scratching my nose.
You were talking.
You were talking. She's like, it's everywhere. That wasn't Stan's fault.
How could you
That
do
was
this to
on
me,
you.
That
You're doing well, Stan. You're doing
that
great.
looked like I was actually digging in there for
That's
gold.
the thumbnail, that is.
Oh, come on! I was scratching the outer ribs of my nose, please.
Bye.
Jesus.
Don't just end it there.
Oh, okay, whatever.
No, that's it. That's
That's
the
it.
outro.
That's it.
Later, all.
Jesus.